Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah and I'm here to share with you plenty of tips and tricks to hopefully help you on your journey of life that I've picked up on my journey, and I really want to make it my life's mission to help other people and share what I learnt and took me a long time to learn with others so they can have some life hacks and live the life that they really deserve, because we all deserve a beautiful, beautiful, rich, exciting adventure of life. And many of us are sitting in a state of unconfidence and just really accepting things that aren't okay, not feeling that great about ourselves, not feeling like they can step into things that they want to do in their life. And I think there's nothing worse than dying, as they say, with the music inside you. And we've all got music to share, and it might not be making YouTube videos like this, but it might be a gift that you were given that you maybe really enjoyed as a child, and you never, you've forgotten about it. You get caught up in, your life and having to go to a job and, bring up your kids and look after your husband, or if you're a guy, look after your family, and it can just suck the soul out of you, really. And especially if you're lacking in confidence and you've got anxiety on top of that, then it really, really makes it tough to step into the full, authentic, beautiful version of yourself. And so anyway, the topic of my video today is letting go, and I kind of touched on it a little bit in my last video on boundaries, but I didn't go as deep as I would have liked to. So I wanted to come on and just talk to you about letting go of some of the patterns, some of the things that you might be holding on to that are actually stopping you from really stepping out into that great life and you being free to be who you are. Like, oh my gosh, we've had to fit in for so long. We're so worried about other people judging us, and often we're walking around judging other people. We're mirrors. So, if you're finding yourself judging other people a lot, start thinking about where you're judging yourself, because you will be on some level. And, with that comes criticism. And if we're criticizing, which goes with judgment, same thing, mirror, mirror on the wall. What parts of yourself are you abandoning? What parts of yourself are you criticizing? If you find yourself, and it's not to then criticize yourself some more. If you catch yourself thinking those things, then it's a great place. You go, oh yeah, oh, I just judged that person. Oh, I just thought that. Oh, where in me do I think that I'm like that? Sometimes you might have to think, oh no, I'm not like that at all. But actually, if you dig a little deeper, you might find that, yeah, maybe you, or they're triggering something in you that sometimes people look at beautiful people or rich people, and they've got little stories and belief systems around that. And, oh, well, she must be stuck up. She must be this, that. Oh, who does she think she is walking around like that? Oh, my gosh. But maybe there's a little bit of an element of resentment there, because you don't actually honor your own beauty. You don't feel confident to walk around and strut your stuff as a full expression of your femininity. Is that going on? Are you a little bit resentful? Is that why it's triggering you? Yeah. And you might go, no, I wouldn't want to be seen like that. And then it's like, well, why not? What is actually wrong with that? So it's really good to just really have self-inquiry and be reflective of why you think the way that you think. We're kind of taught that, our thoughts are everything, and that I hear people say a lot, that's just the way I am, and it's like, it's the way you choose to be. You always have a choice in everything. So, letting go of some of our limiting beliefs, like you might have a belief that, all rich people are wankers. Don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, but hey, sorry. I'll keep it real. I do swear from time to time, so sorry about that. But we can have these belief systems, and where did they come from? Like usually we were told them by somebody else, and we go, yeah, they must be. They're all up themselves, and they drive around their fancy cars and flashing their fancy rings. But is there an aspect? What? There's a lot of people with a lot of wealth that do a lot of good for the world as well. A lot of philanthropists out there. Can't barely even say the word. What about if you changed your belief system to be that, wealth brings you freedom to do the things in life that you want to do? I used to have that belief system. And then I gained some material wealth. And then I thought, well, actually, I feel exactly the same inside. It just meant I could donate to some charities that I enjoyed, that I could buy my friends better gifts. I could share more at Christmas time. I wasn't mega rich, but in my own small way, I could start making contributions to other people's lives, and that's what wealth can give you. I've gone down a bit of a... But anyway, it's just really let go of some of your beliefs around things. Start questioning why you're thinking the way that you're thinking, and take ownership of it, and don't beat yourself up about it. Don't criticize yourself. Just inquire. Yeah, did my family think like that? And where is your family now? If they've got limiting beliefs about things, about people that put themselves out there on YouTube, maybe, like I probably thought, oh God, I'd never do that. Who do they think they are, going on there and telling people stuff? Or I don't know, I probably, had some judgment around that. Now I'm doing it because I've let that stuff go. And we also need to let go of the hurts that people may have inadvertently or even knowingly treated us in poor ways. I've talked about it before in some of my previous videos. But what I've found really helpful is just to go down a journey of forgiveness and let go of the hurt, let go of the feeling like a victim, the victim mentality. It just keeps you polarized and trapped in a really disempowering place. Write people letters and burn them. Let your rage out on the paper, and then acknowledge, hurt people. People do what they do from a place of what they knew at the time, and it doesn't mean that they're necessarily terrible people either. Maybe they had no experience growing up of people being compassionate or kind to them. Maybe some great trauma happened to them. If you start, especially if it's with your parents, start looking back at what kind of an upbringing, what the generational ancestral stuff is within your family lineage, what experiences they may have had. You may feel like you want to have a conversation with them about it. You may not. You may find there's resistance there. I felt it in my own life. I find it still quite difficult to bring up and talk about things with my parents, but I am getting better at it. And that's it. Everything is a journey. And so when you have an understanding of where people were at, doesn't mean it made it okay for them to do what they did to you. But you can acknowledge that, they were just they were a hurt person. And actually by carrying it on, by you going over and over, being the victim, you're still allowing them to have power over you, and you can't move on. So also another thing to let go of is needing approval from other people, needing validation from other people. Do what you want to do. If you're always coming from an intention of kindness, loving, compassion for other people, and you're not hurting anybody, that's kind of my general rule. Do what you like, if you want to go roller skate in the street at 55 nearly, don't let what will people think of me stop you from doing it. I'm giving this example because I just bought some roller skates and I've been roller skating a few times, and I live in an area where there's not very much traffic and I could roller skate in the street, but I've been having this little thing about what will people think about me roller skating in the street. I mean, really, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. Some people will think I'm a dick. Some people will think, yeah, look at her go, that's awesome. And at the end of the day, if I'm having fun, why do I care, But we do get really caught up on that, needing people's approval, needing people to validate who we are. It's telling ourselves stories as well, telling ourselves stories about stuff, making up stuff that's not necessarily true. So let go of it all. And if you can be living in the present moment, there is no anxiety there. If you're just following your heart and stepping into your truth and being the most authentic version of yourself, you know what? That just creates magnetism. People want to be around people like that. People admire people like that. Everyone wants to know who you are. Stop hiding behind, I'm too fat to do that, or I'm too thin to do that, or I'm too old to do that, or I'm too shy to do that. That used to be a story that I used to tell myself, and it was told to me. I was shy and I was anxious, but having that repeatedly told to me was not really helpful. And then I believed it, and I spent a lot of time worrying about stuff I didn't need to worry about, feeling anxious all the time, feeling criticized, judged all the time, and it just kept me frozen in jobs for years and years and years that I shouldn't have stayed in. They were fine. I'm not saying my journey, it turned out how it turned out. But if I'd had so much more confidence, I would have started doing these videos like a year and a half ago when I first thought of them during lockdown. And I started doing yoga classes online, and I thought of doing these kind of videos too. And I so wanted to go live and share things, but I just had this big block and I could not do it. But once you let go of the stories, let go of the need for validation, let go of the anger, of the victim mentality, just let go and step out there, you can do anything you want. Like I started the video, you don't want to die with your music inside of you. Paint that picture that you've got inside of you. Sing that song, write that music, write that book, go on that tramp. Start doing something that you love for you. And I tell you what, if you want to get rid of feeling like you're unconfident and that your anxiety, stepping more and more into the things that bring you joy into your life, showing yourself self-love, it just starts to shift. It starts to shed. And then one day you go, oh, wow, that's amazing. I did that and I didn't really have that much anxiety about that. Or I put myself in that situation. I didn't really think twice about that. I started doing it in really small ways. I remember 20 years ago, I read some book. I can't remember the book now, and it was about self-love, and it was about taking yourself out for a cup of coffee. I'd never done it. I'd never gone to a cafe or, taken myself out for coffee before. I thought it was a kind of strange concept. And I thought, and it brought up a lot of resistance for me. And then I thought, what's the big deal? So I made myself, I drove to Mount Maunganui and I went and sat in a cafe and, I checked my phone a few times. People weren't really riveted on their phones quite the same 20 years ago, but, and looked around, and then I, thinking, oh, everyone's going to be staring at me, thinking, oh, look at her, thereby no friends, got no friends, Sarah, no friends. No one took any notice of me. And I actually went and got a magazine from a lot of cafes have magazines or newspapers, looked at a magazine and drank my coffee, and then people watched and actually had a good time. And since then, I've had no problem take myself out for coffee or take myself out for lunch. But, like I had a limiting belief that somebody that was eating out by themselves, there was something wrong with them. And it was so not true. So when you look at why you're not doing things and start interrupting those thoughts, bringing yourself back to the present moment, interrupting, making new neural pathways, you start to realize that you start to think differently and you stop the patterns of thought going around your head. I've been stuck in so many negative patterns during my life that have kept me polarized, that have, taken my attention off what I really needed to be looking at, which is myself. Blaming other people for my situation. I'm not happy, needing other people to make me happy. So let go, people, let go and step into your true power and your true self. And I hope you'll like my channel and subscribe if you want to hear more, and have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you next time.